another episode of Chatty Broads with Bekah and Jess.
Well, hi, Bekah. So, I think I have a problem. I'm in a bit of a pickle.
You sounded so sad when you said that. Hi, Bekah.
I think the water is killing me.
Oh, no.
So, I've been starting now to drink a lot of water.
Yeah.
I'm finally hydrated for the first
you're
time
already
in my
almost
life.
at 1 p.m. and it's only 10 a.m.
Well, listen, I didn't fill it up all the way because, like I said, I think the water is slowly killing me because I have never in my life had such dry eyes, chapped lips, dry skin. It's having the reverse effect on me. I think I am a lizard.
Oh,
but now I can't stop drinking. I have dry mouth 24/7.
Okay. Have you added the electrolytes? Have you added electrolytes that have high potassium, magnesium, and sodium?
No, and I need to do that. But I also
I told her.
wasn't drinking. I stopped drinking the large amount that I was before. And it's like my body has never had so much water.
Yeah.
And now my body is insatiable. Dry mouth, dry eyes, chapped lips. I'm like lotion top to bottom 12 hours a day.
And
I'm
you are
buying
not
chapstick.
that kind of you don't get dry skin at all.
I have never had dry skin. I've never had chapped lips. My eyes are never dry. No, like, I don't know.
Well, it's because your body's had to hold on to every drop and store. They're like, we'll store it in the skin, in the eyes, in the lips.
So my new goal is taking a reverse effect on me.
You know, I'm not a scientist, far from it. But like I said, I think that if you have some, I like to think of myself as some sort of a science expert. Hardly passed biology and chemistry, but no matter. I have Google on my side. I think if you get some minerals to help your body absorb it, then you'll be holding on to the water. Because sometimes if you do overhydrate, then you're I believe. Don't quote me on this. I believe you can like flush out a lot of like minerals that help your body retain the water. Mm-hmm. So then you're not hydrating yourself.
Okay. So sorry about my dry mouth on this podcast.
No,
literally, it's making me. It's gotten so bad the past week that I went online and I bought like mints that help with dry mouth.
I think that you have flushed. In my scientific opinion,
I have no vitamins or minerals.
I think you have flushed out all. Oh, I need to tell you something funny. I think you can flush out like all the sodium, and then your body isn't retaining anything.
Oh God, I'm so dry.
I think that's how that works. Okay, get this though. This is so fucking funny. So
putting this away, I'm drinking coffee. Fuck it.
Speaking of like having vitamins and mineral deficiencies, you know how I was like cutting out all sugar, like including fruit sugars?
Yes.
Guess what I started getting?
What?
Scurvy. I started getting scurvy.
like
the pirate.
Like pirates disease.
Like pirates. I wasn't getting enough vitamin C. So my gums started getting swollen, started like bleeding. And I'm like, what the heck? Do I have hand, foot, mouth again?
I was going to say, though, too, that could be gingivitis, right?
But it was like overnight. Like it was like overnight where all of a sudden it was super tender while brushing. And yeah, like I've been flossing and stuff. And I was like, I don't think this is gingivitis because it was literally like overnight. Well, and also when I started taking vitamin C in my water for like 3 days, it totally
went away.
So
Scurvy.
So when I started Googling, like I'm not on keto, but like I know on keto they don't do any kind of sugar. So I was Googling keto, like the sleuth I am. I was Googling keto swollen bleeding gums, and then people on Reddit were like, this is actually sounds like a first symptoms of scurvy from not having enough vitamin C. Jesus Christ.
I told you that my mom used to be obsessed with the idea of me getting scurvy, correct?
No.
Like, it's literally, when I think about my childhood, there are a few things that stand out, and one of them is me vigorously rubbing the spot by my like ankle bone and around my neck because my mom would be like scurvy. I'd be in the bath just like, and she would like rub my like my ankle bone and my neck like raw.
What does that have to do with scurvy?
I don't know. I think she's like, I don't know if it's just like dirt, like it's dirty, but she used to call it scurvy. So I was just always like, I think I have scurvy on my neck. Like, it was probably just like childhood dirtiness.
Yeah, I don't
right?
think you don't get dirty. It's scurvy, you just get fatigued, dry, bleeding gums. Like
my mom used to
muscle
call
loss, I think, or something.
childhood dirt
Scurvy. That's scary sounding.
Yeah, of course it is. But my mom also just, it's really starting to hit me recently as my daughter gets older.
By the way, I'm adding fruit back into my diet. You guys, I've realized it doesn't seem like a good idea to cut it out for long periods of time because you start getting pirate diseases.
No more scurvy.
So don't listen to
bitches.
any of my advice. Anyway.
But no, my mom, I'm starting to realize now more. I'm like, I was such a fearful person. And it's not like I've tried enough things to be so fearful, you know? And
it was imparted.
And I'm now seeing it as my mom, when I go down and see her and I'm with my daughter, hearing what she says to my daughter is absolutely wild. Like, we were at the playground and Amber was just going down the slide. And every time she's going down the slide, my mom's yelling at her about, like, and she's not leaning over the side.
She's like, watch out for the HIV needles.
she's literally like, oh my God, don't look over the side. You could break your neck. And she's screaming that shit at Ember. And I'm like, oh my God, like, no wonder every time I'm like walking on a bridge or like going up the escalator, I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, I started to remember, I'm like, oh my God, my mom's the one. We talked about the escalator. I'm like, my mom's the one who was always like, you need to make sure that you don't slip because if you slip, you could decapitate yourself. And it was always the most intense shit ever.
Oh my God. One of my friends was at the mall when a kid lost their finger on the escalator.
See, maybe I have reason to worry.
Decapitation seems a little extreme.
But I'm also scared of ice skating because my mom used to always be like if I would go ice skating with friends, she'd make me wear,
slit your neck on someone's.
No, she'd make me wear like 4 gloves. Because she's like, if you fall, you could get your fingers cut off. And she would tell me that and make me wear like layers of gloves. So then I'm like, I just don't want to ice skate. It's just not worth it. And then, of course, the one time I go skiing, or snowboarding with my family, within 2 hours, like fracture my wrist. They have to re-break it at the bottom. And so I was like, Sylvia confirmed. Sylvia mode unlocked. Now be afraid of everything.
She needs to do her past life regression now, which I think would be a scary, scary journey.
I told her that I was like, Mom, I think you really should do the past life regression. And then she said to me, almost word for word, that she's like, I don't believe in past lives. I just feel the fear on this earth. And I'm like, my God. She's like, this life has enough fear. I don't believe there was another one. This is just what it is. She just thinks, she's like, no, I just know. Like, that's just the reality. And I've figured it out more than you have.
Right.
You know?
She's unlocked it. She's gotten the download, the information download.
It's unreal.
But you know, they're oh dear. Mm-hmm. Why are the escalator steps so sharp though? Have you ever like touched it? Like I don't know why, but like I feel like I've put my hand on it. I'm like, oh
no, it's so sharp. I don't understand. This is okay. They're shooting people into space, correct? But like, can we figure out the escalator situation? Because if I can go to Disneyland and I can be on a ride there's no more tracks. It's only magnets and a flat ground. I'm pretty sure we can have some sort of like large stone that we stand on that just like slowly like takes us down like platform. An escalator. Or
that's called an elevator. That's called an elevator. This large stone platform that we can go up and down on. You know, you might be onto something. You might be onto something there. But then escalators are, I mean...
I blame the water and the water overload.
I mean, stone sounds more chic. Yeah, elevators are always then broken. You have to wait for them to come back down. Why can't we just walk upstairs? Are we really so lazy that we have to take moving stairs?
Well, obviously we need things to be accessible for people. But
that's what the elevators are for.
Right, but they need to be faster.
Well, not fast. Oh, the elevators need to be faster. I thought you meant the escalators. I'm like, that is scary. But even with the escalators...
Can you imagine speeding escalators? You're just like, cross your fingers.
Escalators... No, they should become obsolete. Elevators and stairs, because escalators aren't even that accessible. You can't go on it with a stroller or a wheelchair, or a walker.
That's true.
If you're an older person or someone who maybe has a cane or something, then it makes sense. But even then, your balance is maybe a little off if you're an older person. They're not even that accessible.
That's true.
Elevators and stairs, cut out the middleman.
We don't
walk
need
up the damn
escalators.
stairs or take the elevator.
Or we have a third option and we make it better. A slide.
How about little chairs? How about you
I'd like them to shoot me in a tube upstairs and downstairs.
That's cool. Like,
you know what I mean?
Oh my God. My favorite thing ever as a kid. Do you remember when you would go to the pharmacy drive-through and the little tube?
Unbelievable.
Why? Why do they have those? Why can't you pass something through a door?
Why? But also, why can't we have a human tube?
But why not? Right?
You know, why not? It's the spice of life.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, we need the human tube.
That's scary.
Someone copyright this because Lord knows I won't figure it out.
I like the idea of an escalator, but with seats. So you sit down and it carries you up to the top.
Yeah. I need to get to Claire's. I need my $2 rings.
I need my Jamba Juice now. I used to go to Jamba Juice every morning before school.
So did I. Every single morning. What did you get?
Mango A-Go-Go or Caribbean Passion.
Okay, I got Strawberries Delight.
All right. Yeah. No, every morning I'd be like, Dad, we gotta leave now so we can go to Jamba Juice first. And you stroll into your class. You're like, 24-ounce bitch.
I have never felt hotter in my whole life and had like euphoria moments than when I first got my driver's license, and then I would drive to the Jamba Juice at the mall and I'd have my Jamba Juice and I just walk around the mall in my platforms and my like horrible highlights and just feel like 10 out of 10.
You're like, it's Jamba. It's Jamba. I love Jamba.
And then you'd hit a strawberry and I'd be stuck and I'm like, you can't get it through the straw.
Then you're like, let's try blowing it out. Let's try that again.
You're having your like hot moment and then you're just like...
Just so many styrofoam cups going in the landfill. I haven't had a Jamba in years either.
You know what? I hit Jamba again hard and fast. It was like problematic was when I was pregnant.
Oh.
That was one of the things that all of a sudden I was craving again.
Do you know what I was getting when I was pregnant with Frank?
What?
Subway.
Okay.
All of a sudden, like the sandwiches were calling my name.
Just like that salt and pepper on that.
Yeah. Do you like Subway?
I actually love Subway.
What's your order?
I'm like so basic. I like just a turkey on multigrain 6-inch with mustard, lettuce, and salt and pepper.
You don't do that herbs and cheese bread?
No, I literally go like 5-year-old energy. Like Ember and I order the same thing.
Yeah. Cheese.
Mm-hmm. Oh, also
turkey.
the cheese. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bread.
I do love Quiznos too.
I don't like Quiznos. You know what I like at Subway? I get the herbs and cheese bread. I don't. This is an interesting one. I don't do meat because the sandwich tastes the same without meat, and I'm a little sketched out by their meat. So I do herbs and cheese bread, and then literally like every topping, like lettuce, olives, pepperoncinis.
So it's kind of like a veggie pizza a little bit.
It tastes like just tastes like a Subway sandwich.
Okay.
You just can't even taste it. There's no meat.
I understand
Swiss,
that because
oil and vinegar.
Somehow with Subway, like I can ignore the buckets o' meat, but like when I'm at a buffet, like the lunch meat
the deli slices
that just sit there in the plastic containers, it does give me a little bit of the creeps.
My dad worked there and he can never eat at Subway again because he would come home, he said, every day just smelling like a Subway sandwich, and he's like traumatized from it.
Oh man.
It's a strong smell. It has a very distinct smell. I don't know how every single Subway smells the same.
I do like the smell of Subway,
I like it too.
Though. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That reminds me of my first like serious boyfriend. Used to work at the Coffee Bean, and he'd always come over.
That's a nice smell.
Oh yeah, and he'd always come over after work to hang out with me, and he would smell of the bean, and it was so nice.
That's lovely. I worked at this Italian restaurant in Fresno called De Chico's. Shout out. Horribly managed and ran, but their sauce, like their bread, oh, it's so fire. But I would get off work smelling just like pure garlic. I remember I would go to my boyfriend's house and his parents would be like, his mom would be like, "You smell like garlic." Yeah, I'd be like in my little black polo and black work pants, just like reeking of like Alfredo.
I never worked at a food establishment.
Well,
so
God bless you.
I just always smelled like, for instance, I smelled like Victoria's
Abercrombie,
Secret herself. Like I just reeked of love spell.
Actually, food industry is way better than retail.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You make way better money.
It's also just, it goes by faster. It's very fast paced. People are also total dicks in the food industry as well. But I just couldn't handle retail.
The retails were the slow days of my life. It was just much too slow.
Should we take a quick ad break before I tell you about a business work venture related thing?
Yes,
in my younger days that I've been wanting to bring up to you for forever.
Yes, please. I also wanted to hear about Nicaragua. And I also went to Vegas this weekend.
Oh, yeah. That's what I want to hear about. I didn't do anything in Nicaragua except like layout.
But I have some family related questions, etc.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fun.
All right. Fun. Okay, so broads, if you want every day to be a good hair day, we've got news for you. Getting photo-worthy hair every day of the week really comes down to the products you use day in and day out. We love Function of Beauty because they make hair care products that are 100% customizable to you and your hair. After all, your hair is unique. One size fits all products aren't going to cut it.
Function of Beauty is truly fully customizable. Each formula is based on how your hair is right now and how you want it to be in a month or a year or 3 years from now. And all you need to do is go online, take their quick hair quiz, which will create your hair profile, and they'll help you select your hair goals. And then you get to choose your color and fragrance for your products, or you can do fragrance and dye free if that's your jam. I love that. And then wait for your customized products to arrive.
I love using my custom Function of Beauty. I've been using it for a while. It's amazing. I always struggle with my hair like having no shine, so I went with that specifically also because my hair is thinner. Sometimes it can get a little greasy looking if I want the shine. I found the perfect Function of Beauty combination where my hair isn't looking greasy, but it can still be shiny and fuller. It's amazing.
Say goodbye to generic hair care for good today. Go to functionofbeauty.com/chatty to take your hair goals quiz, and you're going to save 25% off your first order, which is a pretty great deal. Go to functionofbeauty.com/chatty to let them know you heard about it from our show and get 25% off your first order. That's functionofbeauty.com/chatty to take your hair quiz and save 25% on your first order.
So it's actually been a little chilly in Los Angeles the past few
I've been
days.
Freezing.
A little bit rainy, and I do love the rain, but I have been dreaming about those warm spring and summer evenings where we're eating dinner outside and probably going to stay up late as a family playing in the backyard. For most people, your outdoor space is as important as your indoor space, which is why it deserves the same amount of attention and detail, and there's really no more perfect place to find those special touches for your outdoor spaces than Article. Their outdoor stuff is amazing.
Article just launched their new line of outdoor products for summer. You guys, it's a good one. The collection is full of oversized statement lounges, streamlined dining pieces, and sofas that were literally made for an afternoon nap in the sun. And there are 42 new pieces to choose from, plus all of the best sellers from summers past. Back for you to shop.
You know, Becca and I love Article because they make furniture and decor shopping easy. In fact, we're going to be redoing the studio, and Becca's been sending me all the Article pieces lately. Absolutely fantastic. Curated collections that pair well with each other, super fast shipping that is free on orders over $999. Plus, you can expect to save up to 30% over traditional retail prices. And the quality, people, it's incredible. Without a doubt, the pieces that I own from Article are some of my favorite in my entire house.
Article is offering our listeners $50 off their first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/chatty, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/chatty. You'll get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Do you like my big scrunchie?
I love your big scrunchie. I saw you posting about the good Alma.
Yeah, so...
Tell me about this business venture.
Oh, no. That's not what I was... It's not a current business venture. I was going to talk about how... did you ever get on one of those sugar baby websites?
You know what's funny is that I had never been on one until I was with you. And you had a friend who was diving into that and showed me. Oh, no, it wasn't that.
I don't think this was me. Yeah, I was going to say, I don't remember this.
Are we sure? I swear to God,
tell me.
I blame the water. Okay.
Tell me.
Then one of my friends, I was with her and one of her friends, and she was diving into sugar baby work. And so I was like, can I look at like your profile on this?
That was not me.
Okay. Yeah. I was looking into it.
So seeking arrangements, I don't know if you guys remember when that was I think it probably is still a big thing, but I think I was in college, it was probably like 2014 or 2015. And that was like, well, it wasn't like the thing. But I don't even remember how I heard about it in the first place. So then me and my friend were like, oh, let's make a profile. Let's see if we can find one of those guys who's not going to ask for anything sexual from us. It's a little difficult to find on seeking arrangements. Like, let's just find someone who wants to hang out with us and buy us things.
Or just send us money.
Right? We'll text them every now and then, and they'll just drop $2,000 in my bank account every week.
Of course.
There's got to be a guy like that
There's
out there,
someone
right?
out there.
There's someone looking for a daughter figure, someone to spoil, to take out to dinners once a month and spend $15,000 to $20,000 on, and help with my rent as well. Where is he?
Of course.
Where is he? So we made a profile, and it was so funny. Like, I talked on the phone to one guy, and
wait, okay. So on this website, before you talk on the phone to him, have you seen what he looks like? Have you seen his photos?
Yes.
Okay.
So yeah. Oh, it's so fun. So I made a profile. And then, these people, it's like a dating app. They'll like message you. Although sometimes then people will not have photos of their face. And then they're like, if I trust you and we message, then I'll like text you.
Oh, sure. They're
But
like, I don't want you to,
On the profile, it says like their net worth and like their budget. And then it'll say like if they're married and then it all, this is the classic. It'll be like kids. And then it'll say prefer not to say. And you're like, so obviously
kids. You have many children.
You have
I
kids.
was always mind blown that they actually had their net worth on there.
I mean, people are probably lying.
I thought that they had to validate it on seeking arrangements. Mm-hmm. No? Okay. I was under that impression.
I like that. And you're like, send copies of your bank statement and mortgages, please. No. So then this guy is messaging. And again, we're like, let's find someone who doesn't want him to doesn't want us to suck his dick.
Yeah.
So I get on the phone with this guy. Oh my God. It's not like I'm knocking the sugar baby thing, but the way that he was talking about this in like such a business fashion was unlike anything I had encountered before. Because he's just like, my past arrangement was with this young woman, blah, blah, and telling me all about her.
Yeah, he was experienced in the biz.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes. And she was a college student. He's telling me all about this girl. She's a college student. We had an arrangement for 2 or 3 years, and it was great. And now, she's moving on. She wants to, find someone serious and settle down. And so, I'm just looking for someone who could. And so what we would do is, go out to lunch, and then maybe we hang out for like an hour or two after, and he's just laying all this out, and I'm just like,
So was it just hanging that was involved for him?
Don't think so.
Okay. Yeah.
I got the impression, no.
Okay.
I didn't get the impression that he was looking for a daughter figure in his life.
Gotcha.
Or someone just to spoil.
Someone just to be friends with.
But so, of course, then I forget my profile. The year that The Bachelor aired, someone messaged me off of a private profile, and they said, hey, just so you know, your profile is still up on Seeking Arrangements. And I don't know who this angel was who decided not to like blow it up on Reddit or something.
That was you from the future. That was you from the future coming in on a private. Yeah,
I know they were on a burner, and which that was also funny to me because I was like, why wouldn't you just message from your account saying like, hey, just so you know this profile. I mean that was also strange to me, right?
Yeah.
Because why would you say that on a burner? That's not like something that you have to worry about.
It's got to be someone connected to the show. Maybe someone who liked you in auditions and was like, I don't want this girl.
Maybe it was Bachelor Clues. We
Chad?
should ask.
Chad, was that you?
Pace case.
Because Lord knows. Let's be very clear. The sex work industry, amazing, right? Love the sugar baby. Mm-hmm. But The Bachelor, Bachelor Nation.
Well, and it wasn't the sex work thing, I think, that was even the issue. Is that my profile was like, looking for someone to spend money and give me, and then it's like, especially framed with Ari, who's like than 20, almost 2 decades
of
older,
course.
then it makes me look like someone who's just looking to use someone.
But I'm saying on top of that, though, let's be clear.
Oh, yeah.
We've seen the horrendous judgment that is thrown at the sex work business by most of Bachelor Nation.
Oh, yeah.
So it would have been double down. I mean, like everything.
Yeah.
I cannot believe someone sent you a private message. That is wild.
So I was able to like figure out the login and go and delete it.
What would you have done if you couldn't figure out the login and not delete it? Would you have like just be like, fingers crossed it doesn't come out? Or would you have leaned into it?
Well, I would have assumed if this person was giving me the heads up on their burner, that I'm guessing they were the one who discovered it. Mm-hmm. And since they're giving me the heads up, it seems like they're being kind enough, like they're not going to spread it. So I think I would have just been like, oh, fingers crossed. Like if this was the person who discovered it, maybe no one else will. Also, it's really weird that they found it because it doesn't have my last name. It literally said like Bex or something like that and had my photo. So the only thing I have no idea how they would have found it. And obviously I hadn't been on it in years. So like my profile wouldn't have been, I wouldn't have logged on. It wouldn't have shown my profile active in like 2 years. Unless they were on a Finsta because they are either like a sugar baby or a daddy on Seeking Arrangements.
I was about to say, it sounds like there's two options here. Number one.
Actually, they wouldn't have been a sugar baby. They wouldn't have seen my account.
Oh, okay. Then
So
never
they
mind. That
would have
takes out
been-
my second option. Only option left to me?
They are sugar daddy.
A producer on The Bachelor
Arrangements.
is on Seeking Arrangements.
Yeah, because it's not like I even have that many
And
male
was
followers.
like, oh, fuck. I also don't want this person to know I am on Seeking Arrangements as someone seeking an arrangement. You know what I mean?
Because that was the thing too, where I didn't think that anyone else was going to find it, because you would have to be in the Irvine zip code and be within like 10 to or like when you're on Seeking Arrangements, if you're someone seeking the sugar baby, you would say like, a 50-mile radius, a 200-mile radius, and then like a dating app, it'll filter through all those people. So like you couldn't just search my name on the website. Like it would have had to have been someone seeking a sugar baby within a certain mileage, seeking in the Orange County, greater LA area. Because I made that profile in Irvine.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is that it's like literally, it was a producer who is on Seeking Arrangements to find an arrangement and was nervous that you might see them.
Yeah, because I doubt it was like an older male audience member.
Even so, like...
And why would they reach out to me?
Yeah, that seems strange. And like you said, someone else who's on it as a...
sugar baby would not see my profile. They would only be exposed to the male profiles. Whoa. Isn't that crazy?
That is so wild, Bekah.
I know.
So give me the exact timeline when you found this, when you got this message. Like, where were you in the process?
I bet I can look up my my email and it'll show me when I deactivated my account.
Okay. Because I'm so curious when in the process you found out, because that would also then give me clues into who is this angel who sent you.
It was either after or when the show aired. It was not...
It wasn't before. Okay. So it could be someone who was a fan of the show, who really liked you on the show, who was like,
looking out.
Yeah. Just being...
But still, there's not that many older men who watch the show. And I
don't know what it is in my bones, but just something feels like David Spade to me.
Whoa, I love that theory.
That's my theory.
That's kind of not a bad theory.
Even though...
Let's start a rumor that David Spade is a sugar daddy.
Well, here's the thing, though. Let's be real. I've seen David Spade out and about in
does
LA.
Does he think he needs a Seeking Arrangements
I was going to say,
profile?
David Spade is surrounded by many women at all times.
So all I found was an email from when I made the profile in 2014. So yeah, I hadn't been on it in like 3 years. I wonder if I can still log back in or if it'll say when it was deactivated. I'm so curious about all this now. But I do believe it was I know it was while or after the show was airing.
Okay.
Or maybe right before. Like it was when like the cast list was public.
If it was just during the cast list, it had to have been a producer because the likelihood,
Reality
especially...
Steve? No, Reality Steve would have blown it up.
Oh yeah, what do we think? No, that would have been everywhere. No.
Oh yeah, he would have had a heyday with that one.
Maybe in reality, Steve has an arch nemesis that we're unaware of who was on Seeking Arrangements, who was like, I don't want him to get any tea. I can't stand him. That is because but if it came out when the cast list came out and that was it had to have been like a producer or someone involved in the show.
Why wouldn't a producer just text me and say, like, hey, someone brought it to my attention that you have like a sugar baby profile up?
Maybe because there's a chance that like the producer knows that they would have gotten absolutely destroyed because they're messing up potential drama. Like, oh, like what are you doing? Like this could have been a storyline that you're just messing with.
Okay. I guess.
Because if it, like I said, if it was just the cast list that was up.
No. I mean,
think about at the time though, Bekah, now in like the past 2 years, they've promoted the cast list beforehand. Before the past 2 years, no one was like, the cast list was not being publicly talked about like how it is now. So it's not like it was like, there's all these podcasts.
No, but I did get like a decent, like I got several thousand followers when the cast list got released.
Okay.
So there definitely were still like people keeping up with it. And, Reality Steve was doing his whole thing on like behind the scenes on the contestants.
Well, here's the thing though. I can't believe I have left this out.
What?
I mean, on Seeking Arrangements, are there some people seeking arrangements who are women?
No.
It's only guys?
They're very heteronormative over there at Seeking Arrangements.
Really?
No.
Okay.
No, or you have to, but also like making the sugar baby profile, you are like seeking a sugar daddy. There are seeking, like they're very heteronormative, where there are sugar mamas and sugar I don't know what they're called, male sugar babies.
Okay.
But no, there wouldn't be any women browsing my profile unless they created a fake account as like a sugar daddy, which I don't, that seems too far-fetched.
Yeah. I mean, maybe there was just maybe there is a sugar daddy that just was like a huge Bachelor fan. I mean, it's not impossible. It's just not as likely.
It was
What's more likely is producer. Or David Spade.
It is.
I do love that idea.
It is I remember the
He's
message.
just looking out for you. He's like, hey, just FYI.
I remember the message was it was very like looking out, where it was like, just so you know, like you have your profile is like still up on Seeking Arrangements or something like that.
This is wild.
I know.
This is so wild. I can't believe you've never shared this before.
I've had it on my list to talk to you about it for forever. So, yeah. I'm really trying to see if I can log in right now also to read
I'm also like, the fact that you saw that message is pretty shocking to me as well.
I agree.
Because you get so many messages that obviously you miss messages constantly.
Oh, I didn't in the beginning. This was literally in the I wonder if this... Yeah, you're right, though. Yeah,
so
maybe
that
I just
makes
happened
me
to
think,
catch it.
Was it before the season aired and that's why you saw it?
I don't know! This is going to drive me nuts! No! But anyway, yeah, I wanted to talk to you about that.
Internet sleuths, engage.
Engage, and also try to find my profile. But yeah, I never went anywhere with that. Never made any money with that.
You never did anything? Did you go?
Hell no, dude. I was too nervous to go on dates with people on regular dating app profiles.
I was going to say, you didn't even do dating apps.
I talked to some people and I would always chicken out and bail right before the date. People on dating apps.
So what ended up? So did you only ever talk to that one guy on Seeking Arrangements and then you just dropped it?
Yeah, I mean, it also just gets boring really fast. Okay, you're like, all right, you guys are just like a bunch of weird old creeps who are cheating on your wives. That was kind of the vibe for most of the people on there. Mm-hmm. You're like, you're these really wealthy Orange County dudes who are probably lying about how much money you make and probably spending you and your wife's retirement.
Okay.
That was really the vibe.
That was more the energy. You weren't getting the vibe of like you and your wife have communicated and this is something that you're in an open. Okay.
I mean, yeah, no. And also the guys are all those kind of dudes who are like in their profile, they're like posed in front of their Mercedes, like smoking a cigar, or like on the golf course with like, because they're like, 60 and don't know how the internet works. They're like on the golf course with like 8 other men, all in the photo holding up beers, you know? It's just like, okay.
Saw a lot of those this weekend.
Yeah, or like or like dudes holding like a bunch of like Louis Vuitton shopping bags, like at the Irvine Spectrum.
Yeah. And I'm like, I will take one, thank you.
At South Coast Plaza, just like posing in front of the fountains with a Jamba Juice and like a Chanel shopping bag. You know, this could be your future. I did when I went on a trip to New York with that one friend who ghosted me. She was very good at finessing older men with their money, and I remember we met up with. She's like, let's meet up with this guy at the hotel. Like maybe he'll take us shopping, whatever. But you know, I could just never get past I love the idea of using these men for their money, but. So creepy. Like this dude, he's talking to us in the lobby and then he's like, oh, come in, you know, let's go out you can have lunch at this fancy French cafe, like on my tab. I have to go to a meeting, whatever. And then he's like, my kiss. And I was like, gave him a kiss on his wrinkly soft cheek, you know, not my thing. Maybe if it was a very debonair older, yeah, no, it's just creepy guy, but. And he didn't take us shopping. I'm also not very good at that. I'm just like, yeah. Do you want to spend your money on?
I'm like, I could barely make a sale at my retail job. I'm like, I don't quite know how to finesse in that way. I have mad respect for that. I'm like, I do not know. I don't know how to do it. I get so awkward. And I'm like, so anywho, I was just thinking, like, would you mind?
You'd be like, he'd be like, okay, you could put lunch on time. You're like, no, you don't have to. And he'd be like, all right, well, I'm going to my meeting. And then you're just hungry standing there.
1000% what would happen to me is if I was like, I'm going to dabble in like the sugar baby biz. Like, I wish that, like I said, I had the ability to do this. If I tried to dabble, I'd end up meeting up with this older, extremely wealthy man, and we'd sit there and eat lunch and be like, oh, I have to go for a meeting. And while he was putting the card down, I would feel as a people pleaser, I'd be like, I'll pay for it. And then all of a sudden I'm paying for my dates.
It's like $350.
And I'm like, what the fuck, man?
You're sitting there after he's left.
Somehow, as a sugar baby, I'm paying for all my sugar daddy's stuff. I'm like, this was not part of the plan.
Well, that's a good segue into your Vegas trip because, you know, people like to spend money in Vegas. So that's a good connection.
Oh my goodness. People love to spend money in Vegas. I will tell you, gambling gives me anxiety. So I absolutely did not gamble. Like I get why people enjoy it, but I'm just so like, I don't want to lose this. I would rather poker. I just want if I have this money, I know there's a chance that I could make more, but there's also a chance I could lose. And I'd rather just, if I'm going to treat myself, I'd rather just spend
the
it,
money.
You know, go to the nice shops in Las Vegas.
To the spa.
Yeah, exactly. Go to a nice dinner.
Yeah. I feel you. You might like poker though, because then you're actually like using your own skills. Like it's not just all up to chance. I mean, it technically is, but you can also use your skills of persuasion and making the right choice, you know, to try to finesse people through your cunning.
Through my Scorpio moon.
So you might like that.
Well, so I talked about it a little bit on the last podcast with Michael Yo, but I went to Vegas for a friend's birthday party. It had been planned for a while, and my friend, he had like literally the itinerary top to bottom taken care of, which is like, I walked in, it was like love language achieved. Like none of us, even though it was his birthday, we're like, can we help you plan anything? And he's like, no. And he wants to just plan it just, you know, top to bottom, like you did with your birthday. I'm like, I love, like, thank you so much. This is great. But I had not been to Vegas like as an adult. So it was a very new experience to me.
Didn't you go with the girls?
Okay. Yeah, technically.
I'm like, lies.
No, I just... Is this loud sound? No,
Trash truck in your yard.
No, I just technically what that was me saying all weekend, this is my first adult Vegas trip, because my technical first adult Vegas trip was a bust. And we didn't really explore Vegas. You understand?
You were in the hotel room drinking.
Yeah, and it was also I was invited out of obligation. And the people there didn't like me. And so I was just like, had like crazy anxiety the whole time and like barely left the hotel
Wait, didn't you go with your two friends though? Two girlfriends.
No, I've never been to Vegas with two girlfriends.
Oh. I thought you went with Katie and Liz.
No. I've never been to Vegas with them. No. Technically the first time that I went.
It was the old.
I was young. Like I was a young adult, like barely able to, legally do anything.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe this was your first,
this was my first proper adult Vegas trip. That one was,
I thought you were like a Vegas veteran.
No. I was that first time.
I'm learning something new about you.
It was out of obligation because the bride.
It was a bachelorette party. Yeah.
It was a bachelor party, and the bride was marrying one of my best guy friends.
Was everyone Christians too?
Yes. Yeah. And then also, it was an obligation invite, and then some of the friends didn't like me. It just made me feel really uncomfortable. Fun. No. And I showed up late. I was there for like less than a day.
Well, and also Christian bachelorette party at Vegas. It's like, what are you going to be doing?
We were in the hotel room.
Yeah. Maybe go to see Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, we didn't do that.
We
didn't do that. Someone just started crying, and we ended up in the hotel room the whole time. So I'm like, I don't count that as my first trip.
Did we talk about this in the pod? Have someone always cries at a bachelorette party?
Oh yeah,
yeah, we did.
Always.
We did.
No, so this was like my first technical, not technical, but it was to me, it was my first adult Vegas trip, proper Vegas trip.
No, which I have not done either.
Really?
No, I went for kind of this. Well, not the same thing at all. I went for a friend's 21st birthday party, but we just went with her boyfriend and her family. And so we went to a couple shows, but it wasn't a proper Vegas trip.
Okay.
So I haven't done it either.
We need to do a Vegas trip. Now I'm going to need a break for about a year because it is exhausting.
It's stressful. It's expensive.
It is expensive.
It's really expensive.
And I will tell you this, a few months ago, I went on my bender, and that was supposed to be my bender for the year, right? Yeah. That was my yearly bender. Yeah. And so I was not mentally prepared for this, though I did have so much fun. Everyone, the crew that I went with, I didn't know anyone except the birthday boy and then my girlfriend Katie, who was there. But the whole other crew had never met. And I loved that. Because they were all, if they weren't wonderful, it might have been tough. But it was so fun to just spend 48 hours getting to know other people who didn't know anything about me and I didn't know anything about them. Super fun. Crazy. Still recovering. But I will say this about Vegas. I am obsessed with the hotels, walking through Vegas, the casinos,
the shops,
there's the entertainment everywhere, the people watching, the amount of relationship breakups you're watching just as you walk through in real time. I'll just sit at the bar and watch people break up left and right. It is just wildly entertaining. But something about Vegas that I do not like and brings out a side of me that it gets quite angry is the men you were talking. Okay. Oh, angry. The men you were talking about, the cigar men.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Nope. I know exactly the type. Sweaty collared shirt dudes.
The energy of that toxic male, you owe me vibe. Get out of my face.
Yeah, and they're all from fucking Arkansas too. It's who the hell are you to you think you're this big baller in Vegas right now?
It's just literally for me though, it's just going in and I'm with a group of people, and so one of the girls is oh, this guy just said we can invade his table with his bottle service. I'm we're a group of girls walking into a group of men, you're welcome. You're inviting us. Right. And now because I get to have one drink, you think I owe you big time, and there's that
yes,
energy.
Actually, that drink was $310 because the bottle I just ordered was $12,000 for them to carry it in with sparklers.
And I'm well, then don't ask me and offer. If you don't hand me a drink and offer it to me, if there's any, it's just that energy everywhere, just the walking through the casino and the guys just making comments and the cat calling. It's been a long time since I feel I've been in that. I'm what is this, 1980?
Yeah, basically.
Where was I transferred back to? Yeah. So that energy of just came out, and that energy gets really and me
throw in a couple espresso martinis, and
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Combo.
I'm not gonna lie to you that me and one of my best girlfriends definitely went off on a couple of men. Definitely went off on a couple of guys.
No videos ended up on Reddit, so you're good.
Honestly, if they did, I'd be like, cool.
Yeah, fuck
I'm
it.
like, I'm doing the right thing in this situation because this man is being disgusting and I am going to go off on him before he can continue to do this to anyone else. Oh, you should have seen me.
One of my friends from The Bachelor does bottle service at one of the like pool clubs.
Oh,
did you guys go to a pool club?
I went to my first pool
Oh,
club.
we went to a pool club.
We went to a pool club.
Which one?
I almost got kicked out.
Which one?
We went to Encore Beach Club.
Okay.
I almost got kicked out of that.
Why?
I wasn't doing, I mean, ew.
I want to see which one she works at. Why did you almost get kicked out? What do you mean?
Because I'm sorry, I was having a good time. Listen, all these.
I'm sorry, I was just here for a good time.
There's all these fucking creepy dudes out there who should all be kicked out of this club for being absolute pervs. And I almost get kicked out because I played a fun game where we had an up top cabana and there was a cabana below us. So I said, who wants me to pour a drink in their mouth?
Oh, right.
So I started pouring drinks into people's mouth below. It was a fun game. Did I get it only in their eyes?
Right.
Yes.
And we're suing.
We were all laughing and having a good time. Now, in my drunken state, I wasn't thinking about the fact that that's sticky everywhere. So then again, I almost get kicked out.
The bottle service girls are like slipping, falling everywhere.
Yeah, oh my God, no. What happened was all of a sudden security guard comes up to me. He's like, you need to stop doing that or I'm going to kick you out. And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. And I then all of a sudden think about the stickiness of the drink. I sober up and I literally run downstairs to the cabana and clean it myself.
Oh my. You're like on your hands and knees and heels.
I'm so sorry. That's so irresponsible. And it's also the fact that it's like, the service industry where you're like.
Your cabana that you paid, also the cabana that you paid $15,000 for to have for these 2 hours. I'll make sure I do make it right.
Well, I'm like, first of all, they wanted me to pour the drinks. I'm like, I didn't just pour without people ask or without permission.
Without
of course, no. I was like, does this sound fun to anybody?
And they're like,
yes. And I'm like, okay, D. And but then I literally went down hands and knees with a towel and water and I just scrubbed that.
So funny.
I'm like, the people who are like working bottle service and who are working this club, what a fucking hard job. Yeah. And I'm like, I will not add to that.
You're getting paid for it though. You know how much they make?
Oh, and they deserve like every cent times two. The level of absolute debauchery that these drunken
and they're
idiots,
sober,
drunken idiots like myself pouring shit everywhere.
Not to mention you have all these, aside from that though, then you have all those dudes that you're talking about and they're like, take a shot with me. So then they have to be pretending to take shots because they have to still do their job. They have to be fun. Otherwise the person's going to complain to management.
Well, I would just like to publicly apologize for, I thought I was just having the cute, innocent, fun games of pouring the thing.
That is
and I'm so sorry if it caused any more work for anybody, but I do feel like when I ran down and I scrubbed it down, I feel like I didn't feel any more stickiness. And so I think I did take care of it and I made sure and then I apologized to everyone. But other than that, I think that was me then going off on men and making men pay for all of their atrocities. Those were really the only two things that I did. Oh, Lord in heaven. I was just feeling very passionate about also like it's
what
just
were you guys saying?
Gross, dude. Like if I'd see a guy who was like
oh, I bet they're being disgusting.
I was just going off. I was like, my girlfriend and I were just I don't remember the exact verbiage that I was using because it's a little messy in my mind, but it was just we were very passionately telling people off, gross men who deserve to be told off. And I was just like, how dare you? And I was just getting in people's face, which...
How do they handle it?
Well, it depended on the person. We'll just say it that way. Some were like, so sorry, you're right. We had a moment of growth. We're like, okay, here we go. And some were
screaming
growing. Obscenities at us. But
did you guys start screaming back?
I don't scream normally, but I'm not saying my friend didn't. Mm-hmm. So then I started to have a little bit of the energy of like, okay, hold on, like, we don't want to be now put ourselves in an unsafe situation.
You're drunk.
Here.
You're just like, wait, okay. You need to calm down. We need to tone it down. You guys.
All I'm saying is I've never, I've never partied in that type of capacity. I've never done the pool parties, never done this type of club. And what I've learned about myself is that drunk Vegas Jess does not become like laughy, whatever. Drunk Vegas Jess is intense and is like, you will not do that.
You will pay.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Do you think it has to do with it? Do you think it has to do with the people you're around too?
I think being around this particular friend, she's like that. And I was like, but I'm like, girl, you're right. Because these guys are being disgusting.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was a lot.
What do you think it would be like if you went to Vegas, just you and Evan?
I think it'd be really fun. I was telling him, I'm like, I love the idea of doing a couples Vegas trip.
That sounds fun.
Because obviously, like, you know, I think it'd be fun too to like, you know, like pop into a club one night together, dance for like an hour and then leave, you know.
And then complain about the prices the entire drive home.
Exactly. Yeah. Complaining about the prices, but then there's so many fun restaurants and there's so many shows. And again, just the people watching. Like you can get a room in Vegas for not too expensive. Uh-huh. And you could just literally sit in like casino bars and just watch people all day. And it would be such fun conversation. And I love people watching with Evan because Evan's most favorite thing to do is to make up stories about like what he thinks is going on or about like what the person's like. And so I would just know I would be so highly entertained.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's take a quick pause. Let's take a quick pause. And then I want to hear a little bit about Nicaragua. I know you said you were just chilling, but I
literally didn't do anything. I'll tell you all about it and it'll take about 3 minutes. But first,
broads, when it comes to vitamins, minerals, and supplements, my strong opinion has always been leave it up to the experts. I wasn't always that way, sure, but after hours and hours of time spending wandering the aisles of my local vitamin store, I realized I had no idea what I should actually be taking and what the best sources are, which is when I started using Care of, and I haven't looked back since.
So Care of, we love them. They're a subscription wellness service that ships high quality personalized vitamins, supplements, and powders conveniently to your doorstep every single month. To get started, just go online and take their in-depth quiz about your health goals and lifestyle, which will help Care of build out your personalized routine. But it's a lot more than that. Their products, oh my gosh, Care of takes so much time and attention to explain in detail exactly what they're recommending, why they're recommending it based on your quiz results, and even offers a ton of transparency into where the supplement came from. Transparency like that is actually really hard to find in the wellness space, but Care of is really serious about pulling back the curtain and showing you exactly what you're getting.
I took the quiz and my focus was how to get my energy up and also how to avoid those afternoon crashes. The quiz was super fun to take, and afterwards, boom, I had a complete routine just for me that addressed my specific goals. My supplements arrived a few days later in these great individual daily packets, which makes sticking to the routine easy, and I can honestly feel the difference in my energy throughout the day ever since I started using my Care of routine.
For 50% off your Care of order, go to takecareof.com and enter code chatty50. That's takecareof.com and enter code chatty50 for 50% off your first order.
So when it comes to dinner time, I want the best of both worlds. I want restaurant quality meals that are good for me and delicious, but I don't want to spend hours in the kitchen prepping. And you know what? I don't have to. If you're thinking, wait, that sounds impossible, let us tell you about Green Chef. Green Chef is the meal kit that makes eating well super easy no matter what lifestyle you follow. Green Chef has you covered with tons of healthy, delicious options that are ready to eat in just a matter of minutes.
The hardest part of the whole thing is just deciding what meals you want included in your delivery. There's more than 35 options to pick from each week. You've got options that feature premium, clean, seasonal ingredients. And after you've decided what you want, Green Chef gets to work and delivers you pre-portioned, partially prepared ingredients and easy to follow recipe cards. Then assemble and enjoy. It's simple. Honestly, you guys, the meals are amazing.
Seriously amazing. Some of my favorites are the creamy shrimp primavera and the chicken with lemon chive sauce. I'm feeling a little hungry now. And if you listen to us regularly, then you know we also love HelloFresh, which actually owns Green Chef. So you can expect the same great quality if you've used HelloFresh before, just different varieties of food with each service.
Go to greenchef.com/chatty130 and use code chatty130 to get $130 off plus free shipping. That's $130 off plus free shipping when you go to greenchef.com/chatty130 and use code chatty130.
Okay, so Nicaragua, it looked absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it was gorgeous, except that well, okay, actually, the journey to get there, oh my God, I was so glad. So originally, my friend got engaged in January. She's like, we're getting married in Nicaragua in March. Her parents have like a little casita there, and she really loves it. Her dad and brother surf, which is why they have a place there. So she was like, I know we want to get married there, do something really small and super simple. But so when she told me, I was like, maybe we'll like the family will go for like 4 or 5 days or whatever. Normally you fly into Costa Rica and then you take a little puddle jumper plane into the airport by their house. But because of COVID, they're not doing those little short flights, which meant that we had to fly into Costa Rica, which is like a 5.5, 6 hour flight. And then go on a total like 3.5 hour drive where you have to go across the border. So remember when we had to cross the Mexico border when we did that, but it's so different. Like the driver dropped. Okay, so the driver drops you off, then you have to walk across this whole border area. And another driver picked us up. But the thing was, we got into Costa Rica at like 7 or something like that. So it was already kind of dark. And thank God I was with my best friend's little brother and his girlfriend, because like the guy drives you to the border and you're like kind of in the middle of the jungle. And it's just like sort of dark with some street lamps like lining this road. And he basically just drops you off with your suitcase and you're just sort of like walking down the road. And there's all these random checkpoints with like somebody wearing a lab coat. I don't know if they're really a doctor. Someone wearing a lab coat who like checks your COVID vaccine stuff. And then
you're
like
just kind of is there a lot of wildlife out there? Because all that I'm thinking about is walking in the darkness, just walking straight into a massive spider.
No, I wasn't worried about the animals. I was more worried about like, this seems like a perfect opportunity to mug someone and take their shit. Like,
sure, it's just in the darkness.
Yeah, and there are all these random people and it's not very like official. So you're sort of like, someone could be like, right this way, ma'am. The building's over here. And you're just like, get in this car now. And you're like, okay, this is strange, but I've never done this before. So you're just sort of like walking across, like rolling your little suitcase. And then like,
that's wild.
It's not clear. So then we're walking down this road and then these other guys are like, no, you have to go in this building. And so of course we're all like, yeah, of course, this building over here. But then it's like it was actually like a passport checkpoint. And then you go through that and then you literally like wander past some semi trucks down this road. And this is like 9 o'clock at night at this point.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And then some guy's like, okay, I'm your driver. And you're kind of like, okay. Like you literally are just like, and I guess probably my friend's brother had the info. Do we have
any just authentication here? Like,
I'm sure he had the info, but in my like experience, I was just kind of like, yes, sir, yes, sir. Load up my stuff in your van and let's go. So that was an interesting thing. So the first night we got there at like midnight and I was just thanking God that I did not try to attempt that with the kids because it was like a 9.5 travel day. And I was just imagining trying to like shuffle all their shit across like the border and they're exhausted.
Oh my God.
Would have been a nightmare. So I was really,
you were
really
alone. You were able to just fully kick back.
Well, yeah. And when you have kids, and you're doing a 9-hour travel day, you're like, this is a vacation. I'll just listen to my podcast and watch a movie on the plane.
Of course.
I don't care.
A travel day alone? An alone time on a plane? A gift.
Fabulous. Don't care that I was in the middle row in row 34.
I'm like, I got my book.
Middle seat in row 34.
Yeah, I got my book. I got my podcast. I got my little comfy neck pillow. I'm just like, hey, everybody. I'm doing just like pointing fingers at everyone. I'm just like, what's going on?
I'll take the Mediterranean snack pack. Yeah. You know what? Throw in a club soda, why don't you? Let's get crazy. So yeah, that was the travel day with that. But it was the actual place where they have their little house in is sort of like a like golf resort situation. So we kind of just stayed in there the whole time, which was really nice, but it's kind of boring. You kind of just do like pool. You eat at like the same 2 restaurants, beach.
Yeah, it's like relaxation hang time.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, by day like 3, I was like, all right, I need like a project. I'm about to start like building a hut on the beach right now because I can only take so much hanging out with all y'all just drinking by the pool. I'm getting a little antsy here, getting a little anxious.
You are funny. You do. You got to have projects.
I got to just have things to work on. Otherwise, I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah. No, I remember when we went on vacation together.
Oh yeah, I was like over it by day.
You were like, we were only there for 3 days. And like,
I think it was 5. Maybe 3 full days. Yeah.
3 full days. And like the second day in, you were like, okay, time to get into, we got to get a car and like, let's go explore some fountains. And
Taylor and I were like, time to go on some jungle hikes.
I'm an opposite vacationer where I'm just like, I'm like, when you say chilling by the pool and just talking all day, I'm like, sounds dreamy.
I do love it. I mean, it was amazing, but I get really anxious. Like I would wake up in the morning, and of course I didn't even have my kids with me, but we would go to bed at like, we'd stay up talking till like 2 a.m. And of course I'd wake up at like 7 and I was like, and I would wake up with so much anxious energy in my body, and I just didn't have any of my books or anything. And I was just kind of, but it was still lovely.
My dad would be the perfect person for you to vacation with.
Because he does the whole full itinerary.
He does the itinerary, but the man, like down to an art, does day we get there, relaxation, next day adventure, relaxation day, adventure. He's staggering it. He does it like every other day, and then even on the low-key days, there's always like a little thing that's going to happen. It'd be
We're gonna do like a little tasting at 2.
Yes, exactly. There's movement happening, but then you have like your designated like, okay, here's our hang time. But then by 3 p.m. we do have this like little event that we're going
Now, this is the only thing I would love that, except from your stories, your dad is also rigid on the planning and the times.
Yeah. If you'd be with him, then he's mellow. Like when I brought I brought my girlfriend on a family vacation, he has everything planned like rigid. But when there's someone not in the family,
he's Mr. Cool Guy.
He's a little bit like, you were just hanging, like it's all good, like, you know, I'll send an Uber later for you girls, like get here when you get here. But when it's just us, he doesn't give me a hard time, but I'm more like, I then feel bad because I'm like, you plan this so well and this is so important to you. For the love of God, the man, he packs a extra, like he brings a carry-on, or no, excuse me, he checks a bag just for pool floaties.
Oh, I love that.
You know what I mean?
Because I needed one of those while we were there. I was like, we need a pool floaty.
He has his, when we go anywhere with like pools or like any sort of thing, he literally checks a bag with his pump and like 12 pool floaties. And the second we land, he's pumping them up and they're everywhere. There's like 100 swans. You can barely swim.
It's a fleet.
No, it's insane.
That's so funny. Well, no, I was cracking up too because my sister's brother and his girlfriend, they got to the airport like, I think our flight was at 2:45. They got there at like, 11 or something like that. And they were cracking up, telling my friend's family later. They're like, yeah, no, Bekah gets there as they're announcing boarding, and she has a whole roast chicken in a Tupperware in her hand. And I was like, yep, that's how I do it, baby. We're going through TSA at 2. We're boarding the plane at 2:20. I got my Wolfgang puck because I book Alaska Airlines because I love the food at the Alaska terminal. They play jazz music during check-in.
It is nice.
Alaska's vibey.
Alaska is a vibe.
It's never busy. They're always super friendly at check-in. You make it through TSA quick.
Alaska
They've got the bomb food in their terminal.
Bless Alaska.
Love them. The cheap flights too. So I was like, this is what I do. I know exactly what I like to order here. I've only been here 3 times in the past 8 weeks. So let's go. And I was ready. Except the only thing was my earphones, my Raycons, I left the rubber piece at home. I don't know why. I opened up my earbud case and the earbuds just didn't have any of the rubber pieces. So I was like, I guess I'm just going to shove these steel bullets into my ear.
You're bleeding. Like as the plane's taking off, you're just like dripping blood. You're just like, it's okay. The sound quality's great.
I have my podcasts. Oh.
You're just listening to like Mark Maron and there's just like a drop of blood just going down your ear. Like, I love this episode. So how was then the, I know that you had talked previously beforehand about like that you were going to be spending time with people who hadn't seen you in a long time.
Oh my God. It was so much fun. It was actually so much fun because I can't remember the last time. So this best friend, she and her younger sister and her younger brother are the exact same as my family, where we're all 2 years apart in the exact same gender order, like girl, boy, all the exact same ages. So we, like, our parents knew each other from church when we were really, really little. So we have grown up together forever. Like during the summers, our families would do like, we would do like week swaps where like the boys would go stay at her house and the girls would all go stay at my house for a week. And then the week after we would like switch.
So fun.
So I really like grew up with her family. So it was quite fun to like be in, it had literally been like a decade since I was with her and her siblings like all together. And it was just really fun because even though we're all grown up and doing totally different things now and have some really varying opinions about things, it was just, we all have this like the same sense of humor, and it was so fun. Like we literally stayed up till, that was my favorite part, is we would like sit in the living room at like 9 and we would just end up laughing and talking and just joking around and clowning around till like 2 a.m. That was
so
a blast. I really, really enjoyed that.
And the day of the wedding.
Oh my God, the wedding was just so, that was also just so chill. She literally, there was 12 people total.
I love that so much.
And it was just relaxed. We did a little like, oh, here's how we're gonna like walk down this little walkway and do the little ceremony here. But of course there's like no one even in the audience. So it's like, okay, we're gonna start at 5. But it didn't even really matter.
There's no pressure.
There was a photographer.
And then was she able to like just relax and just see,
it was actually really inspiring to me. I was going
to say, I know, Lord knows you want a carnival for a wedding.
Just do it. We'll just do it for the reception. I literally had that thing where I was like, I do think we will just do like a really simple ceremony, just make it beautiful. That's all I really care about, is just making it pretty. And then, and then I can invite everyone for the reception and make that 2 separate occasions. Yeah. And I think they're doing that too. I think they're doing reception like a few months.
Oh, see, I think it's so amazing.
I know.
Like I would want a reception close to the actual day, just because
my friends did that a week apart. They literally did the weekend they got married at the Santa Barbara courthouse. The weekend after, they did a giant reception at like a Marina Del Rey like event place.
I would be, if I could do a small wedding and then have my honeymoon for a week.
Oh, fun.
And then like
I like that.
On the next weekend. So like 2 weekends or whatever. So then you have,
but if you're on your honeymoon, then you're doing your honeymoon, and then if stuff's coming up around the reception.
No, I'm saying like the week after. So it's
nice.
Like, because I think, oh my God, like I then have so much to look forward to. The ceremony, and then the honeymoon,
so much pressure,
and then the reception. The thing is, when you have just this like gigantic
day,
or like big day, it's all done like that. You actually get married and then like, you know, have this big, I don't know, it's very fleeting, and then there's so much money and time that goes into it. I'm like, I just would want to savor every second of it.
Not to mention where my head immediately goes, it's like, what if I get the stomach flu? And then if everything's consolidated into one day, then all of that's ruined, you know? So I'm like, okay, well, if you're like sick for one thing, then you'll be okay for the other.
True.
It's immediately where my brain goes. I'm vomiting.
But I'm so all about that. That is, I know. That is, I'm trying to plan right now. So, actually today, when this episode is dropped, it's mine and Evan's 10-year wedding anniversary.
Congrats! Oh my God.
I mean, I'm like, it's so crazy. I'm like, yeah. So we've been together for like 15, 16 years, but it's the 10-year wedding anniversary.
What am I supposed to get you guys? Like a clock or something? You know how
how
they do those things?
You're like, oh, so apparently year 10 is plated silver. So I'm gonna get you a stack of silver plates. That's the weirdest.
I found out about this recently,
I'm like,
and I was like,
who created that list? If you don't know broads, there's literally a list of like every year.
Oh, I'll tell you guys right now. What the actual hell? Okay,
there's a list.
And these are my materials. So first anniversary is paper. Second anniversary is fiber. Fiber?
What does fiber mean?
Like fibers, like
human fiber, or like some sort of fibrous?
Cotton.
Okay.
Cotton. Each fiber represents 2 people that have become interwoven.
Year 2, you just get me like a protein shake. Yeah. You're just like, oh, here you go. Lots of fiber.
Free constipation. Third anniversary, leather.
That's the kinky anniversary.
Fourth anniversary. I need to think about that. Fourth anniversary, fruit or flowers. Fifth anniversary, wood. Wink, wink.
Another kinky one.
Sixth anniversary. This brides.com article is stupid. 6th anniversary candy or iron.
Candy or iron? And you know some mean person back in the day made candy that looked, or the iron that looked like candy, and someone just broke every single one of their poor teeth.
Candy or iron. Okay. 7th anniversary, wool or copper.
What's with these two options?
I don't know. 8th anniversary, bronze.
So it's like, so wool or copper, it's like either they're going to give you a sheep or a penny.
I know, exactly.
Like, those are your two options.
A new pan. 9th anniversary, pottery. That's nice.
That's nice.
10th anniversary, congrats. Tin or aluminum. I will also be getting you baking sheets.
That seems, for a 10th anniversary feels like when you hit a decade, or then at 10 or 20, it feels like that should be a bigger.
But then 11th is steel. You know? What the fuck? This is the stupidest thing ever. 14th anniversary, ivory. What? Who makes
Shouldn't ivory be like 10 or 20?
You would think. 17th anniversary, furniture. Okay, what? 20th anniversary, China.
Who makes this?
I don't know. 25th anniversary, you finally upgrade to silver. 30th anniversary, congrats, pearl.
Oh, wow. So it does start to...
This is just getting ridiculous. 35th anniversary, coral. What the hell?
Okay.
Finally, 50th, you graduate to gold. And 60, if you make it to 60 years?
That's a long time.
Well, this is back when they get married at 15.
Yeah.
When the 60th anniversary, you get diamonds.
Oh, diamonds.
Finally, if you make it to 87 years old together, you get diamonds. 60 years.
That's crazy. I'm like, Evan and I could be...
You could hit 60.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we got married when I was 23, 10 years, 33. Huh?
I wonder if, how old do you think you'll live to? What's your gut instinct tell you? Go. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
42.
What?
It's just what came out. I would like to live for... I would like to live for forever.
No, Gray always says he thinks he's going to die young. It really stresses me out.
Okay, I won't add to that.
One time
it's us
when we were first dating,
Libras.
One time when we were first dating, I said, I just feel like you're someone who's going to die in your 30s. And he goes, I think that too. And I think about that all the time now.
I can't believe that you said that on one of your first dates to someone.
It wasn't a first date. It was like the first few months we were dating. And he said, I think that too. And now I'm like, you're 33. Yeah, so 42.
Yeah.
Jess, that's like less than 10 years left.
I know. I gotta really live it up.
Does that feel right in your soul?
All I'm saying is if I do a Vegas trip now every year, it does.
I think I'm gonna live to like 100, but watch me.
No, you're gonna live for forever.
I'm immortal.
Yeah. You and Evan are gonna live for forever. I know Evan was gonna live for many a millennia. Both of my grandmas right now are 94.
Wow, that's pretty good.
On either side.
I think my Nana will live a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, 94. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I was just watching a documentary last night, and one of the guys on it was 100, and he looked so good, just chatting it up at 100 years old. I was like, I want to be like that.
I saw an article.
You get to see a whole century.
I saw an article of like some man. I think he was like over 100, and he like still runs these like older folks races. And you saw him just like doing this little like marathon moment. It was unbelievable.
Well, you know what studies have shown? Because they look into these different regions in the world where people live the longest, and they're like, is it diet? It's not any of those things. You know what it is?
What is it?
It's community, specifically of varying ages. People live longer if they have people around them, communities around them, children, old folks, and everyone in between. Those are the areas with those kind of cultures where people live the longest.
That makes absolute sense.
You have a will to live. You're like a part of something.
Yeah, no, it's community's everything, honestly.
Yeah. Anyway.
But yeah, so we have our 10-year anniversary coming up.
Wow.
Today. And so I'm like, we really want to renew our vows. We keep talking about it. And we were planning on doing it like on the day on 10-year, and of course we didn't plan it. I didn't do it. Of course, it was like this idea, and it was like every night we'd be like, well,
the past 2 years.
We just started talking about it like somewhat recently, like actually like let's do it. And then it would be like, let's sit down and have dinner tonight and talk about like what we want to do. And then all of a sudden Evan would get a call and he'd be working until like 2 a.m. And that was just always what it was. You're just like, okay, well, this isn't
like, let's watch a TV show.
But what we're going to do it at some point in the next few months for sure. But it's going to be like, you know, at least during our 10th year, we'll renew our vows. But I'm just like, I want my 10th year vow renewal to be like the energy of what your friend had.
Simple, just about you.
Yeah, just about us. And like have Ember there and like have like, you know, just close friends there. You know, Evan was like, no family. And I'm like, well, I think we probably have to invite family.
No, you don't have to invite anyone.
That's true.
Besides the vow renewal, they're there for your wedding. Just invite who you want to.
I know, I should just do.
And fuck the rest.
Just chosen family.
You don't have to post about it.
But then I want some people in my family
so
there.
just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it.
We were
if their butt hurt.
We were talking it out. We were like, okay, we're really trying to break it down because we both want some family.
Yeah.
But
so
not
do it. They don't
all
have to,
family.
Not everyone. You don't have to make it a thing.
We're like, we know if we just choose some, we are going to burn some serious bridges. So I don't know. I'm debating the risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of it to me that's like super, well, not a part of it. It's super sacred to me. And I don't want to have any of that uncomfortable energy that some folks might bring into the situation.
I do get it though. Cause you're also like, okay, but then like I want this person in my life and I don't want to create like drama with them. Even if it is their responsibility to handle their emotions and all that, it still is ultimately going to like bring up stuff and it's like,
I would get why they'd be super hurt. I'd be super hurt in that situation.
Yeah.
So you're like, okay, but then you're like, you know, if like those specific people are invited, they're going to make it weird with the other guests.
Destination. That way, that's kind of what my friend did. And she didn't invite any of her aunts and uncles because she was like, it's a flight, it's a whole thing.
That's very true. That's very true. That's not a bad idea because I think some of those people wouldn't fly.
Exactly. And you know what? Here's the other thing. Tell everyone that you want about 2 months in advance. Tell those other people 2 weeks in advance. Be like, so just so you know, I would love for you to be there August 15th
That's actually
in Puerto Rico.
That's actually an incredible strategy. Incredible.
Yeah, that's basically what my friend did. She's like, yeah, that's why we had it in a foreign country because who actually is going to take time off work and be there?
Genius. Genius. And I love the timing piece of this as well.
Exactly.
Dropping a quick bomb and being like, oh, so it's in a week and a half. We just threw it together.
We would love for you to be there.
Please come. Please.
And then they're like, well, I've been accruing vacation time and it's funny. We actually,
It's like, okay. And then I guess it is what it is.
Anyway, I gotta run off to a meeting.
Oh, you got a meeting, yes.
Chat.
And let's chat.
Just great chatting with you. Let's reconnect soon.
So nice to talk with you. Maybe see you in a couple weeks. No, broads. Also, I wanted to say, Bekah, I think our next episode we're gonna be answering some relationship questions from the broads, some audio messages that have been sent in. Here's some broads' voices. But I was thinking next episodes, some fun segment ideas in the episode might be a social media moment of the week. Like whatever, something you see on social media, whether it's something inspiring, a post that's inspiring, that's weird, that's stuck with you.
Fun.
We deliver one a week.
Fun.
And then potentially one weird and wild news story.
I like that. Let's do it. I love it. Live it, love it, laugh.
Live it, laugh, love. Live, laugh, love, broads.
Chat
we
soon.
love you. Chat soon.